Awesome. Then I'm starting recording now. Awesome. Now let's revise. If you have seen the video or Anvisa is there, if you can remember from the class also, that's awesome. Now the provision for interest. Loan you have received from the employer, and is there a taxable aspect coming into picture, or there is nothing like that? If it is, then how much will be our taxable value? Concessional rate, interest rate loan. Anybody? Anvesa?
It will be the interest provided by the bank minus the employer.
Your voice is breaking, but I could hear most of it. You said interest provided by bank. Which bank specifically?
We had considered SBI, but whichever bank.
No. It will always be SBI. It will always be SBI. Okay. So in the question itself, it will be given. Not a problem. Now let's quickly.
That multiplied by the amount. Sorry.
Perfect. Yeah. Loan balance or balance of loan, whatever is available. Very quickly, unfurnished accommodation. Unfurnished accommodation.
That is if the population is more than unfurnished.
Yeah.
I think population more than 25 lakhs, it was 15%. This is for when it is not let out, and 10 to 25 lakhs, it was 10%, and below 10 lakhs, it was 7.5%.
Perfect. And the other side?
If it is let out, then 15% of whatever is the rent of that place.
15% or?
So of the salary
of salary, or there was another thing
or
also?
The rent of the place, whichever is lower.
Whichever is lower. That's important. Nice. One last thing, that is movable asset sold by the employer. We have done this also.
Dheeraj, are you sharing something on screen?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not sharing. These are all revision only from the last time. So
yes,
let me just reiterate the same thing. Tax is a very easy subject as long as you have the numbers with you. The calculations are 5th class, 6th class mathematics, multiplication, division, nothing else in that, and some conditions here and there if else. So the whole trick lies with the remembering part, by hearting part. So that's what we are trying to do among us only. If we discuss so many times that we can remember the numbers, that will be amazing. So these are the ones that we have already covered the last time. That's why I immediately stopped sharing only. Yeah, please go ahead, Anvisa. The last one was movable asset sold.
Sorry, this one I don't clearly remember all the three.
So there were 3 categories: electronic equipment, motor car, and other assets. Yes. No,
yes,
not 10,
I
15.
think motor car was probably 10%, electronics was 15%.
No, it was 50, 20, and 10. So electronic equipment 50%, motor car 20%, other assets 10%. Then the equation was actual cost minus your depreciation minus actual recovery. Then your balance will be taxable. Do you remember now?
Yes.
Awesome. Now others, please, if you can go through the first session, that would actually make sense. To revise again, a revision would be recommended, especially by me. And in the discussion itself, I'll be revising whatever concepts we are going to discuss today at least 5 to 6 times today, so that it helps you, helps me also remembering those things. And if you do that on your own also, that's amazing. That is the best way of remembering. Again, if I repeat what I said the last class also, another approach to remembering this to have a structured format where all these numbers will be written, which should be in your own language, and you can just look at that now and then whenever possible. That way you can have that picture in your mind. That works very nicely. I have done that before. You definitely can do it. That is another way. So I cannot help you in that. That is completely your responsibility if you want to do that. But this is another way which I'm referring to, that is by discussion, by revising those things again and again. So doing that, we can remember so many things. You'll be also amazed by it, how quickly you can remember 5-6 provisions in just in a span of 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Okay, and any questions, quick questions? Otherwise I'll go directly into the discussion. Okay, all right. Now let me go to a provision like this. Give me 1 second. Okay, yes, I have it. So this is the provision of gratuity. Okay, so in gratuity, what happens is, so what we are discussing here is, it might be a government employee, might be a non-government employee. They are receiving some lump sum amount after retirement. Everybody must have seen that, at least in family or some friends and family, somebody retires, then they receive a big amount in gratuity. Now, taxability of that part is the question here. When somebody is receiving a gratuity full amount, how much should be taxable? As you can see in the structure, for government employees, it is completely exempt, 100% exempt. Yes. For non-government employee, there are two categories. For non-government employee, there are two categories. One category says covered by Gratuity Act. Another category says not covered by gratuity. It will be given in the question. We will also remember in the same way. So non-government employee, have the picture in your mind. There are two categories. One side is covered by the Gratuity Act. Another one is not covered by the Gratuity Act. Under the covered by Gratuity Act, the first one says 20 lakhs. That is the statutory limit. This one, 20 lakhs. I'll replace this with 20 lakhs only. Right? I want this to be very simplified. I'll be doing this as and when we are discussing provisions, and you will have this quick, just to look at small picture where everything will be included. It would help us to revise also. So that I'll be doing along with the discussions, not a problem. So I'll do it with all the provisions applicable for us in our course, not a problem. So 20 lakhs is one amount. Second amount says, as you see, read out, that says 15 days salary out of 26 days based on last drawn salary for each completed year of service. Now, let me delete all of that. Okay, let's simplify this. What does this mean? You simply do 15 by 26 into salary amount into number of years completed. That's all. 15 by 26 multiplied by salary multiplied by number of years completed. Now, this thing I'm not deleting because this is important. Thus, the number of years, you have to round it off as per 6 months basis. Now, last one is actual gratuity receipt. Actual gratuity receipt. So that is very simple. I'm not deleting or editing anything in that. Now, tell me if you have any difficulty in understanding this. Any of these.
Could you please zoom a bit?
Sure. You are referring, accessing through phone, is it?
No.
System only?
System only.
How is it now?
Yeah, better. You can put it on 100%, that's enough.
Okay. So, okay. Now, so as I said, 20 lakhs, 15 by 26 into salary into number of years completed, and actual gratuity receipt, whichever is lower. List of the following, as you can see. So I will say WEL. I use shortcuts so that I don't have to write a lot of things. WEL stands for whichever is lower. Now, this is for non-government employee covered under Gratuity Act. I'm assuming everybody understood. So I'm moving on to the other side, that is our employee who is not covered under the Gratuity Act. Exactly same as it is in this side. Exactly same. Only difference is, instead of 15 by 26, you do 1 by 2. Instead of 15 by 26, you do 1 by 2. And another difference, small difference, is that rounding off that I said no, that won't happen. So I'll just simply do this. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So it simply is 1 divided by 2 instead of 15 by 26 into salary into number of years completed, and rounding off will not be done. Portion of months are there, then take decimal and calculate it. Yes. Any doubts in this one?
Dheeraj, could you give an example of who are these employees who are not covered under the Gratuity Act?
Often it happens, no? In the gratuity, they won't be registered. In Gratuity Act, there are some provisions which makes employers mandatory for them to register their employees under Gratuity Act. That depends on the turnover, that depends on many other factors. So if you imagine there is a dosa stall in front of our company, small dosa stall. He also has an employee, small, some guy who is just, washing the tray or something like that. Should he register his employee under the Gratuity Act? No, right? So often there are so many cases. If you take an example, there are so many cases in which the gratuity, the employer is not responsible to get his employee and registered under the Gratuity Act. So that's what is the case.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other doubts, questions? Okay, a quick revision of what we discussed now. Gratuity we are discussing. So the language that I'm going to use, it is going to be very useful for you to remember also. We're going to discuss this again and again. Now, I'll ask you next time when we are discussing this. So just pay attention. Now, Gratuity Act, government employee fully exempt, private employee categorized. One category is covered under the Gratuity Act, another category is not covered under the Gratuity Act. Covered under the Gratuity Act, three values: 20 lakhs, 15 by 26 into salary into number of years are completed, and actual gratuity received, whichever is lower. Not covered under the Gratuity Act, 20 lakhs, 1 by 2 into salary into number of years are completed, or actual gratuity received, whichever is lower. Make sense? Takes hardly 3 seconds, 4 seconds to revise. Once you do it, you can actually very quickly remember. Any doubts, or else we're going directly into the question.
Dheeraj, the salary is the monthly salary, right? That was written.
Salary is monthly salary. Yes, obviously. It's monthly salary only. And in this salary, your DA will always be included. Yes, your DA will always be included. Regarding dearness allowance, I will take care of it little separately. When I'm telling you this will be included, just know that this is included. I'll give you a different shortcut to remember when in salary DA will be included, when it will not be included. And for people who for whom this is not making any sense, the logic is often throughout the salary, income from salary head, in different calculations, salary comes into picture. You either multiply, you add, you compare, and all of that happens. Whenever salary comes, two more things also come with it. One thing is dearness allowance, another thing is commission. Sometimes it will be included, sometimes it will not be included. So to remember where and all the DA and commission will be included and where and all it will not be included, I'll give you a shortcut separately. Okay, as of now, I'm just telling you DA will always be included in the salary when we're dealing with the gratuity. And I'm going to say, yes, salary is the monthly salary. Yes.
Whenever why we multiplying number of years and not number of months completed?
That's the calculation. There is no logic to the calculation. So that's law, right? That's law.
Okay, I thought it's
so basically if it is a monthly salary, then it has to be divided, multiplied by 12.
Multiplied by 12. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because if it is a monthly salary, then it has to be in years, right?
Yes. Monthly salary? No. This salary that you have here, no, this is monthly salary only. This is not yearly salary that you are multiplying, okay? This is not yearly salary. This is only monthly salary. Does that clarify? Yes, no?
No, I think when we will do a problem, then we'll give more idea. What I was saying, when we have a number of years, then do we need to have a salary also in years?
Where do you want to have it? That's my
we have number of years, right? Numbers of year completed, right?
Yeah.
So then salary should also be in annual format only, right?
No. I'm telling you. No. There is no should and not, right? This is law. There is no logic to it. Don't think it in that way. Okay, just because number of years is mentioned.
We were thinking it's trying to calculate the whole salary received.
No, we are not doing that.
That either salary will be.
No, let's not get confused here. Very simply, whatever I'm telling, that only you have to remember. There is no logic to it. This is law. Law is like that only. So the Parliament does it. We are just interpreting it and understanding what needs to be done. There is no logic to it. I mean, if you actually go to the preamble and all, logic is there, but let's not go there because that's not we are supposed to do. That will take a lot of time. So what I'm saying is wherever I'm writing salary, no, it is always monthly salary. Assume that, because I want to make it very simple for us to refer to. I don't want it to be complicated, because if you start writing, so many things are there. Just now I deleted so many things. Everything is relevant, but I want to make it shorter, and so that very quick look at it will give us the numbers. So the whole objective is to remember the numbers. So hope that clarified things. Very quickly going to the question. So there is a question, and forget about rest of the question. Just read this line. Okay, line reads gratuity of 6 lakh. Gratuity of 6 lakh. What is this? So he has received these amounts in this year, and gratuity of 6 lakhs he has received. He was covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. His salary, basic salary is 20,000. Dearness allowance is 50% of the dearness allowance. I'll again repeat the question data information. Gratuity is 6 lakhs. He is covered under the Gratuity Act. He has a basic salary of 20,000. 50% is the dearness allowance. I'm not going to show the provision to you anymore. You have to tell me what is the exemption amount for gratuity.
For this, we'll need the working note, right, to compare the.
We'll be preparing the working note. Again, I'm going back to the same discussion that I did the first time. I'm not focusing on the presentation here. When you are solving the question, please do take care of it. I know you can do it, so I'm not doing it my side. The reason is I want to focus rather more on how to remember these values. Okay, so the format and all, you take care of it, but do the calculation and tell me what should be the gratuity exemption. So if I sorry,
no, I was just thinking out loud. So the salary including the dearness allowance should be 30,000. 15 by 26 into 30,000 into the number of years here would be 1st April and here 31st. 1 year is not complete fully.
So another information which you should focus on is, I forgot to mention, is 30 year and 1 month. His completed year of service is 30 year and 1 month. So all the information are available.
Okay. So 15 by 26 into 30 into 30. Okay. Lakh 19,231.
Okay, in case somebody who is struggling with the provision, I'll quickly revise the provision once more. Gratuity we are talking about, somebody who has received a gratuity. Government employees fully exempt, 100% exempt. Non-government employees categories into 2 parts. One is covered by gratuity, another one is not covered under gratuity. For covered under gratuity, the exemption amount is statutory limit 20 lakhs, 15 by 26 into salary into number of years of completed, or actual gratuity receipt, whichever is earlier, whichever is lower. Others, that is the not covered under Gratuity Act. In that case, the exemption amount will be 20 lakhs, 1 by 2 into salary into number of years completed, or actual gratuity receipt, whichever is lower.
Sorry, Dheeraj, I got dropped. I connected again. We are solving question number 2, right?
We are solving question number 2, only gratuity. So you have to focus on only this line, that is gratuity of 6 lakh. He was covered under Payment of Gratuity Act. His basic salary is 20,000. Dearness allowance is 50%. His completed year of service is 30 years and 1 month. With this information only, you are calculating what is the taxable value of gratuity. Out of 6 lakh, how much is taxable for it?
Dheeraj,
how we will get to know whether... Yeah, go ahead.
No, Saurabh, go ahead. I was just trying to get at the answer.
Okay, I was looking that where is it mentioned it's a government employee or not.
Okay, he's a private employee only. Unless it is specifically mentioned he's a government employee, he's actually a private employee until that point. Okay. Messrs. Y Limited. Can you see this?
Miss XY, yeah, Y Limited, it means it's a private employee only.
Private employee only. Yes, yes.
And then private employee is not exempted, so we have to calculate it.
Correct.
Okay. So this will go in a formula of 1/2.
What Payment of Gratuity Act.
Yeah. So
should
it be 1/2?
By 6.
Yes, 15/26. It was 15/26.
Yes. So Dheeraj, one more question. So 15/26, if we are multiplying that with a salary, which is 20,000, and the total number of years, which is 30 years, but the dearness allowance is only 15% for those few months. So
few months as in sorry.
Calculate that from 1st April 2020.
No, forget that. No, that is not relevant. Don't look at that. I'm telling you 50% is only dearness allowance.
Okay.
20,000 is basic salary, 50% dearness allowance, that means that's 10,000. Forget about the period because you haven't read the question yet. There is other informations which are relevant, but I want to only deal with gratuity. That's why. Forget about that. Saurabh, does that answer your question? It should not be 1/2, huh? It should be 15/26. Does it make sense?
No, Dheeraj, I think.
Okay, let me show you the table once more. If you look at it, covered under gratuity work was 15/26. Not covered under gratuity work was 1/2. Right? You agree with it?
Yeah.
In the question itself, it was given he was covered under the gratuity act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dheeraj, after the calculation, it's coming to 5,19,230 for me.
5,19,230 is the correct answer. Absolutely. That is the value of exemption. Okay. Then taxable value will be 6 lakh minus that.
Okay.
Perfect. That is absolutely correct.
How did you get it, Sana? I'm not getting the answer.
It's 50. The same thing, Anvesha, the one that you were saying. 15/26 into 30,000 into 30. 30,000 because I added the dearness allowance. I don't know. Dheeraj, was that the right way to go?
Yes, absolutely. And you have other two values. What are the other two values?
Sorry?
What are the other two values?
I'm still doing.
Okay. So the three values were, one was 20 lakhs. Okay.
Yeah.
Number one is 20 lakhs. Everybody, number one is 20 lakhs.
Yes, 20. Yeah.
Number two is 15/26 into.
Amount.
Yes. No. Sorry. Gratuity amount, you said something?
How
so lower amongst this 5,19,000 or 20 lakhs or 6 lakhs.
Perfect. Those are the two values that I was expecting. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that is what you were asking.
Yes. So we have to remember, because sometimes actually other values might be less. So we have to be very careful. We have to calculate all three. Yes, Saurabh, you are asking something. Go ahead, no?
No, how come 20 lakh for 10 months? But just now we discussed now that we will not be taking it yearly, right?
So one second, Saurabh. Look at the provision once again. Huh? I'm telling you the provision once more. Just be very attentive. Because
okay, so 20. Okay, we are there doing that comparison. Understood.
Yes.
20 lakhs.
20 lakhs is already given. Yes.
No, but so, I'm still trying to calculate this 15/26 value. I'm not getting it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So 15/26 multiplied by 30,000 multiplied by number of years, right?
Yes, number of years is
30 years, right?
Perfect. Yeah, go for it.
And then what was that's all, right?
That's all.
So 5,19,230. Yeah, that's
perfect. So that is the value of exemption. Okay. What should be the taxable value then? 6 lakh minus that value. Make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Now everybody got it. Any doubts? Any clarification needed in this?
So this one is less than 20 lakhs, so we will consider this amount. What was the third clause?
Third was actual amount received, that is 6 lakh.
Oh, actual gratuity.
Yes.
So that is also slightly higher. So then we will be considering this 5,90,000 only.
Perfect. So whichever is lower, you will always take. Perfect. Now anybody else, any questions? If not, then can somebody please revise the gratuity once more in the exactly similar way?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, for government employees, it is fully exempt.
Perfect.
And for private employees, but under the Gratuity Act, it would be 15 by 26 into the monthly salary into the number of years that they have worked, or the gratuity amount, or 20 lakhs, whichever is lower.
Perfect.
And for private employees who are not under the Gratuity Act, the 15 by 26 just will be replaced by 1 by 2.
Perfect. Now please everybody, when one person is revising, you also do revise yourself. That will help you only. Otherwise you will be stuck in the exam only. So it's only for you. Okay, very quickly moving on to the next one. If nobody has any questions, I'll give 2 seconds. Perfect. Now let's go to another provision called leave encashment. Okay, leave encashment is what? You are leaving the company, and on the while leaving the company, you have some credit leaves with you and you are taking some money for it. Now, what is the taxability for that? There is a specific exemption that is allowable for leave encashment. Now, if you look at it, government employee, again, fully exempt. The leave encashment, whatever they take, it is fully exempt. For non-government employee, there is no category. There is just simply 4 values. Let's look at those 4 values. Let's look at the last 3 first. First one is statutory limit of 3 lakhs, simply 3 lakhs. Second one is 10 months salary, or the basis of average of last 10 months salary. What does that mean? You simply do 10 into average salary. Average salary will always be salary only, most of the time. Okay. So average salary, when they say, they have very in few high level questions, they do play around with that. But for us, they won't play around. It will be salary value only. Average salary will be salary most of the time. So we'll take that. Actual leave encashment received. So it will be actual value. So I'm keeping it as it is. Statutory limit is 3 lakhs. So I'm leaving off, striking of statutory limit is 3 lakhs only. So 3 values are 3 lakhs. The next one is 10 into average salary. Then another one is actual leave encashment received, the actual amount received. The fourth one that reads something like this: cash equivalent of leave based on average salary of last 10 months salary per month to the credit of employee at the time of retirement, calculated at maximum 30 days credit for each completed area of service. What does this mean? It means simply that number of years of service, completed years of service, number of completed years into 30 into your salary. Number of completed years into 30 into salary. Now this 30 has a slight trick to it. I'll just write something in the bracket. Okay. Or actual if less. What did I say? Number of completed years into 30 into salary. 30, what I said was, or actual if less. Now what happens is, some companies give less than 30 days leave credit, right? Some companies give more than 30 days leave credit. What income tax is saying is, whatever exemption we are going to give, we will give maximum for 30 days. If they're giving less than 30, let's go for less only. If they're giving more than 30, then only 30 will be allowed. Any questions on that, please, in understanding that?
So 30 days salary in a year. They cannot give more than 30 days.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. In any doubts?
And this clause applied only in the retirement case.
Only, leave encashment is what happens only at the retirement.
Leave encashment we generally get when we are leaving the company also, right?
As in leaving the company or retirement, as the case may be. You are right. My bad. Yes. Yeah. If no questions.
So leaving the company also applied over here. It's not only retirement, right?
Yes, for sure. Both. So
we have to calculate 4 things in this problem, and then whatever is lower, that has to be considered.
Whichever is lower, that will be calculated. Like one more thing I want to focus on. Okay, I was expecting a question on this. Suppose I have worked for 20 years in a company. Yes, 20 years I have worked. My leave days were 31 days per month. Per month, my leave days were 31 days. Now, what has happened is I have not taken many leaves, or suppose I have taken very few leaves, and at the end of the year I have I'm left with some suppose how do I say 602 days of leave. Okay, I'm left with. So that happens, right? I mean, at the end of the whole thing, I'm left with 602, and on the basis of 602, I have received some value. My salary per month is suppose 40,000. 40,000. Now, what do you think that the calculation should be? I have 20 years of service.
40,000 multiplied by 600.
40,000 multiplied by 600. Is that, does everybody agree 30, with it? Right? Does everybody agree with it?
Yes.
Can you explain, please?
20 into 30.
I think you have typo error. 40,000 multiplied by 600.
Yeah, 40,000 multiplied by 600. Yes. No, there is one issue with it. Okay. So when we say salary here, obviously salary is per month. And when we are multiplying 30, this is day, no? Right? This is day, isn't it? So we have to divide another 30 to convert it into months. So what I'm trying to say is, number of completed years into 30, or actual if it is less than 30, whole divided by 30 into salary per month. So salary, when I'm writing, it is always in month basis. That's why I'm converting everything else such that it will be giving us a perfect formula to remember. Does it make sense?
So we can say just simply 1 only. 30 divided by 30 is always 1 only, right?
That's a very good question. Can somebody answer? If we do 1, then that will be fine.
If it is